Hi everyone, hope all of you are doing great. So in this video, we'll try to understand that how we can take this pay-per-use business model on the blockchains. So all of you have used some sort of pay-per-use business model in a centralized way, but you can take this in a decentralized form. So if you're a blockchain developer, if you want to start your own startup on a blockchain using this particular model, then this video might help you. The first thing you have to understand that what is PPU model and how it exactly works. So just imagine that you are taking any service and that survey is totally dependent on the use case. The more you will use, the more you will pay. The less you will use, the less you will pay. So that is pay per use. I hope this far is clear, and this is the entire system we're going to take on the blockchain, and that's the same thing we have here in the slide. You can see that a pay per use business model is a pricing strategy where customer pay only for the actual use of the product or service. So if your customer use more, they will pay more. If they use less, they will pay less. So that's the simple analogy you have to keep in mind when it's come to pay per use. Now see a couple of examples of pay per use in the centralized way. So we have Amazon Web Service, we have DigitalOcean, we have SaaS product. So all of these products are pay per use. So the more you will use, the more you will pay. The less you will use, the less you will pay. So these are the centralized example I'm giving you about this pay per use. And now we have to understand that how this system will work on the blockchain. In the case of blockchain based business, this model could be implemented by smart contract and automatically charge user based on their use case of service. There are the steps to build pay-per-use blockchain business model. So the same logic you have to apply, but this entire logic, this entire transaction, this entire service use and the pricing charge will happen with the help of smart contract, and that smart contract will execute automatically at the time of billing cycle you will define, at the time of the way you define your entire smart contract. And for achieving this on the blockchain, we have to follow the proper structure for this pay-per-use. So these are the couple of structure which I have mentioned. The first one is that you have to define the service. The second one we have that you have to create a smart contract. The third one we have is that you have to set the pricing. We're going to get into details about each one of these, but you have to understand the points. The fourth one we have is that you have to implement payment options. The fifth one we have is that you have to develop a user interface where the user can interact. The sixth one we have that you have to launch your service, that what service you are launching and why you are charging. And the last one we have that you have to monitor all the use case. So these are the couple of things which you have to keep in mind when you want to write the smart contract, when you want to build this business model on the blockchain. Let's try to understand each one of these points in detail. So the first one we have is that we have that's define the service. So identify the service you want to offer to consumer. It could be anything from file storage, computing power to content delivery network, CDN and service. So these are the popular examples which you can follow with the services which you can provide on the blockchains. You can serve messaging system, you can provide software, you can provide the computing, that's whatever we have highlighted into this. Okay, so these are the couple of options, couple of ideas which you have to provide as a service. Okay, that's the defined service thing. Now comes to the second point, create smart contract. So create a smart contract that will be responsible for charging customer based on their use case of the service. The smart contract will be able to track the use case of the service by each customer and charge them accordingly. That's what we do on the smart contract. We try to keep all the track of the transaction, the interactions, but the contract would be defined in such a way that it will keep all of these data. So you have to understand that what are the data you're going to track, what are the services you are providing, which plan the user have taken. So all of the things you have to keep in mind, and according to that, you have to define the smart contract. You have to build the smart contract. So that's create smart contract. Now let's move to the third one we have. The third one we have in the list is setting pricing. And this one is a very tricky part because most of the product which I have seen, they get fail when it's come to setting the price, because setting price for a product and service is an art. You have to understand that how you have to set the price. So it's setting a price model that reflect the cost of providing the service as well as the value it's provide to the customer. You may want to consider different pricing tier based on the use case level. And this one is a very good strategy which you can implement. So if you have a customer and he's a very frequent customer, he's an old customer, for that you will initialize some additional benefit. Obviously, because he is using your product and service for the long time, you have to give him something extra. That's why he will stick to your product and service, because you know that competition is getting into the market every single day, no matter what industry you are. So you have to stand away from the crowd. You have to provide something extra to your consumer, both in the terms of service, both in terms of supports, all of the things you have to keep in mind. Okay, setting price is an art. Let's come back to the fourth point. The fourth one, we have that implement payment options. So how you want to charge your customers and what are the payment options you want to provide. So all of you know that if you deploy your contract on Ethereum, they can pay you through Ether. If you deploy to your contract to any other platform, it will take their native currency. So you have to understand that what additional payment method you want to provide. Okay, that's the tricky thing you have to keep in mind, because this is the challenging part, because the more option you will allow user to make the payment, the better for you. You don't want to restrict user to use a particular payment method. So you have to provide multi-payment method in the model. Let's come back to the next one. The next one we have is that develop a user interface. And that's the basic thing, because you will have an interface, then the contract is connected to that, and then your users will come to the platform and they will use your product. So you can't provide your contract just like that, because no one's good with the contract, no one's good with the code. They need an interface. So you have to build an interface. It should be attractive interface. It should be has easy user friendliness in terms of UI, in terms of feature and functionality. So you have to build an interface, and that's what we have defined here. A developer user interface that allow customer to easily access and use the service. The interface should be also display real-time use case and billing information. So these are the common feature you will find in most of the centralized applications. So if you buy any service, in case of I buy DigitalOcean or AWS, in that I get all the data about the use case, the services I'm using and how I'm getting charged. So you have to send all of those real data, and that data will come from the blockchain, the smart contract, because that's keeping the track of the use case of the product and service. So that's the thing you have to keep in mind, that you have to develop a interface, user interface. Now let's come back to the 6. You have to launch the service. Launch the service and promote it potential customer. Be transparent about the pricing model and have use in track and build. And this one is pretty good. I would suggest you that this comes in a consumer experience. So the moment you purchase, the moment you sell your service, the moment you make all those promises that these are the things you're going to provide, make sure you have to be stand on that. You have to provide all the promises you have made, all the services you have made, an affordable price, so they're going to use it. Otherwise they have other option as well. They have the money, so they can go wherever they want. So that's the thing you have to keep in mind. Launch the service and you have to keep all the things in your head. Let's come back to the next one, and the next one we have that monitor use case and adjust pricing. And that's what we have highlighted, that if you have a loyal customer, you have to give reward to that. If you have an old customer, you have to give reward to that. You have to set the pricing in such a way that it depends on the use case. So if you have a new customer, you have to provide him offers so he can take the service, and later you can increase the price. If he get little older, then you can simply provide additional benefit. Pay-per-use model is really powerful, which you can easily able to build on the blockchain. All you have to decide is that what kind of application you want to build, what kind of service you want to provide. If you want to provide content delivery system, you can build that very easily. You can upload all the content to the IPFS and you can fetch it from there and you can serve to the clients. You want to provide storage, you can do that. You can store the data to the IPFS, and the more user will store their data, the more they have to pay. So that kind of project you can build. Okay, so these are the things, couple of things which you can include into this entire pay-per-use model, and it is going to be the really good portfolio project if you come up with the project and you can include any kind of service. So if you're a developer, I would suggest you that you should build a storage system. So whatever I have highlighted, that you build an interface, you build a smart contract where you allow user to deploy the files, and that file going to be stored on the blockchains. So I hope this entire thing makes sense to all of you guys, and you guys have got the idea that how you can use this pay-per-use business model on the blockchain, and you can add these services, whatever services idea you have in your mind. So that's the only thing I want to talk about in this video. Hope you guys have found this video valuable. If you still have any confusion, any doubt, do let me know in the comment section. I believe I cover almost every single thing, but if I have missed something, I do want you to highlight in the comment section so other can get the benefit and I can also learn from you guys. So that's the only thing I want to talk about in this video. Hope you guys have found this video valuable. If you still have any confusion, any doubt, do let me know in the comment section. I'll try to help you in that. For the time being, have a wonderful day. And those of you who haven't subscribed to the Blockchain Coder, please do that. That's your project. We all together have built that one, and we all should contribute to that. That would really help all of us to build that community. Okay, so do let me know what do you think about it, what do you think about the Blockchain Coder, and do subscribe to the channel. Do let me know what do you think about it. Have a wonderful day. Bye bye.